It's everyone's nightmare, finding sexually explicit images of yourself online. Non-consensual intimate images, widely known as revenge porn, have become a huge problem worldwide. They can be real pictures or AI-generated deepfakes. Now, US President Donald Trump has signed a law that makes it illegal to post such images. The Take It Down Act also puts pressure on tech companies to remove that content. Sounds like an overdue step, but critics are not convinced these efforts will actually help victims. Here's what you need to know. Having someone share explicit content of you online is a traumatic experience, no matter if the images are real or AI-generated. Victim support groups worldwide are sounding the alarm because the number of incidents is rising exponentially. South Korea is the most affected. According to a study, 53% of all non-consensual sexual deepfakes online show women from there. By the way, the term revenge porn is very problematic in itself. It suggests the victim did something to deserve retaliation. It also downplays the seriousness of the abuse by framing it as pornography. Victim support organizations suggest we should instead use terms like image-based sexual abuse or intimate image abuse. Unfortunately, legislation in many parts of the world lags behind, and prosecuting these kinds of crimes is difficult. So the US Take It Down Act is seen as a step in the right direction. What does the new bill say? It will fully come into effect next year. Websites and social media platforms will have to remove reported content within 48 hours after a victim requests it. And they have to make reasonable efforts to remove any reposts or copies of the offending material. Apart from that, the law empowers victims to sue perpetrators for damages. So there will be a legal path to get compensated for any emotional and reputational harm. Perpetrators also potentially face years in jail, depending on the severity of the crime. These are good intentions, but how will this work? Well, it mainly comes down to the platforms. They will have to build new infrastructure for a takedown system. It could work like this. Firstly, they need reliable ways to verify that a takedown request is legitimate. The problem? Automated identity verification has its limits. For example, a face might not always be clearly visible. Apart from that, they must create technology that detects and removes identical copies. And they also need to set up a clear framework on what users must do if they want an intimate image taken down. The US Federal Trade Commission will be in charge of enforcing the law. Well, we don't know if this will really work out as planned, also from a technical perspective. That's not the only reason why the new bill isn't supported by everyone. NGOs like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and the Center for Democracy and Technology criticize the law for being too vague. In their eyes, it could be used to remove a much wider array of content than intended and become a weapon to threaten or stifle political opponents. And then there are privacy concerns. To work effectively, platforms would most probably have to check private messages to keep people from sharing reported content. Overall, some experts argue that the law might traumatize victims even more by promising more justice, which it, as of now, can't deliver. Fortunately, there are some organizations that support affected people. Take It Down is an online tool specifically designed to help minors. It was created long before the recent bill of the same name and is not directly related. With the tool, kids can anonymously flag and remove nude or sexually explicit images of themselves from participating platforms. For adults, a similar tool called Stop NCII has been available since 2021. Both tools are supported by big platforms like Meta. Even though it might feel awkward, it is also important to inform the police. If you don't report it, the perpetrators simply walk away. And if it all gets too much, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Visit this website to find out who you can turn to in your country. That's all from me today. See you next time.